Mario Kart! It has Mario Kart. What in the gods is going on here? You turn a corner and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we threw Mario Kart into the game. I mean, full Mario Kart. Levels, different ones, powers, characters, storyline, car upgrades, evolutions, rivalries. It's all there. It's all there. I don't know what to expect next. I've uncovered, like, I think a bit more of the map now, like maybe 60% or something like that. And it's just keeps going like, yeah, but did you think maybe we put entire video games in here? Because Virtua Fighter's in there, Space Harrier's in there. Oh, by the way, over here, there's grabbing machines that have all like Super Monkey Ball stuff in it. Yeah, that's there. Oh, by the way, why don't you run around this park? And this is the main crux of where I am today is I haven't like felt this overwhelmed by the positivity of a game in kind of a long time. You think about something like Expedition 33, right? The golden child of this year, and will be very difficult to beat in terms of awards and things like that. And it's a phenomenal, phenomenal game, but I could find flaws for sure, right? Like we mentioned them. It's like, oh, the lack of loadouts is kind of a thing, and the scaling's a bit all over the place, and that can lead to some issues that some people have a dissatisfied experience, and so on and so forth. Like these things that are like, oh, if it had this little bit of polish, it would be like absolutely pinnacle. But it is such a beautiful, wonderful, exquisite package of a game that you would recommend it to absolutely everybody. Like, of course, you should want to play this. Just hear the soundtrack, you want to play this game. This game is... And certainly for the price. And this is what I talk about in some of the TDPs you guys have seen with like one-off games. And we did one recently, I think the telephone game. And it's like, it wants like 17, 18 quid. Now I know this game when it came out wasn't $10. But right now this game is $10. And you're like, it doesn't even add up. And this is what indie games are going against, is this level of just greatness. Now why do I say that? Let's talk about the absurdity of this game. The absolute absurdity of it, right? It's overwhelming. The absurdity is everywhere. 1 minute you're playing grabbing machines. The other minute you're collecting cans on a tricycle. You're also the CEO of the biggest corporation in Yokohama. And then in the next scene, there's a lady whipping a guy on the floor in his underwear, right? It's just all over the place. And we talked about these roller coasters that it just takes you on emotionally and things. We had the biggest MSQ cutscene I think we've had since the start of the game. Like the start of the game was like 2 hours of cinema, right? And now in the midst of the game, and I think we're somewhere in the middle, I don't know. This huge scene plays out, which is really serious, right? We've lost a member of our party. Namba has been taken, and he's got assassins chasing him. And we have been brought to this tower by the Koreans, and now we're in the room with the leaders of the Injin 3 that are keeping this sort of trepidatious peace in their eyes in this city, but still criminals, right? You know, it'd be more peaceful if you just weren't committing crime, but whatever. And this huge counterfeiting money operation is underway, and they're all involved. And you're like, wait a minute, you guys are all like collaborating behind the scenes. Aren't you guys in a street war right now? And they're like, well, you know, it's a bit more complicated than that, actually. And you find out everybody's involved. And not only that, they are like the primary financiers in many ways of this super old politician, where they've been funneling this counterfeit cash to him, and he's maintaining control because he wants to bring things down. And now this is where I was like, wait, no. This game, and hopefully the other Yakuzas as well, does not have any right to be as tightly written as it is. And it is. And it's like, wait a minute. I was thinking about things for a couple of minutes because a lot of information exposition was dumped on us here. And then they started bringing other characters out. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then you thought about it. You take that step back, right? You pull yourself out of what's actually happening in the plot. And you think about it for a minute. And you're like, that actually makes total sense. And there's no reason that all the threads that they've set up in this epic story, which is hours and hours of storytelling, has any right to be as tightly written as it is. There's a great example here, which is Ryu. At the very beginning of the game, we're talking like 40 hours ago now, we were the carer / assistant to the young master, the son of Arakawa, who was disabled. He's in a wheelchair because of an incident that happened that the father tells us about. And we are essentially taking him to like escort clubs and things like that. And he's a super simp for one of the hostess. And he has a serum which allows him to temporarily walk, this like super serum where we can suspend our disbelief a little bit that exists. And he is like fawning over her. He's putting lavish gifts all over her. And he gives her a watch, I think it was, that is worth as much as an apartment. And then he finds out that, she's like totally not into this, like at all. She's like, this guy's kind of going way too far. And in that bar, we meet the police commissioner. He will be the police commissioner. And he's also fawning over this girl. And he's advising her, is like, yeah, these guys don't really get the disconnect. He does. Yeah, you're paid to spend time with me, right? Like, and he's fallen in love with you. Just sell his stuff. And Ryu finds out about that, and he's like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? And his life collapses because he was head over heels in love, and then it dawns on him as like, she doesn't care. She actually finds it really creepy what you're doing. And it's all revealed. He's back. And we found out he was dead. Like, we were told specifically he's dead, but he's back. And it actually was like, whoa, okay. And then the police commissioner is also involved. And you're like, whoa, these are things from like 40 hours ago. And then it's revealed that he is the founder of Bleach Japan. And I was like, oh, damn, that makes perfect sense in a simple way. He's like this sort of lonely guy whose love was spurned by these gray area people who was probably hurt incessantly. Like, it hurt to the point of, heartbreak because of these people, and now he's got a vendetta against them. That totally makes sense. That all ties up. How it's working with the politicians all ties up, and now it's all tying back to Daddy of the Arakawa and the Omi Alliance, and that's all fitting in perfectly. All these jigsaw pieces, of which there's so many, and it's not like it's the it's one of the more complicated stories. One of the things I praised Expedition 33 for is the story is relatively simple. It's a story of family, right? It's a very simple story. This one has threads, plot lines, interactions, negotiations, democratic things. It's got all that sort of political bargaining going on across, like, whether it be Yakuza gangs, the locals, third parties like Bleach Japan, the political situation in Japan at the time. All these things are going on together, and now it's all bringing it into focus of like everything here is interconnected, how they're using Ichiban, how some people seem like we had with Namayama, I think his name is, were just like collateral damage in the pursuit of this, how Mabuchi, who's like the second in command of the Seiyu clan, why he's involved with Bleach Japan now and helping them, why Namba. And now we know that his brother is a big factor in this. Namba is now siding away from us. I'm sure he's going to come back later because, he's a party member. But, like, ultimately, I couldn't find a flaw. And I was like, this game has no reason to be this tightly written. It's not necessary. Like, this game is super absurd, as we talked about. It has no reason. It could have plot holes, and people would be like, yeah, because, like, I mean, what do we care about? We're riding around collecting cans, right? And we're scrabbling around for scorpions or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. We're playing baseball over here for whatever reason. I am so impressed. I am so impressed when this is all coming together of just how much care and attention to detail was given. It's almost like they gave, like, this game is such an illusion of what it is, because it's actually one of the most tightly woven RPGs that I've played. And then it's wrapped in this complete carnival, popcorn, candy floss, firework display that you've ever seen. But what they've done is just taken this very, very core. If you were to change the characters and the setting, this RPG would still be phenomenal. It would absolutely be phenomenal. And then just bolt stuff onto it for fun. Just like super silly stuff, like the part-time hero who's now lost all his cats, and you've got to find all these cats. All the collectathons you would have, but given that twist, that setting, that theme. And I feel, and some of you are listening to this probably thinking like, well, yeah, we've known about this franchise forever because there's a ton of these games. And this is one of those discoveries that I've had over the last decade, specifically coming after the WoW bubble, where I've just been like, I can't believe I missed this. Because this is my sense of humor. It's got the absurdity I want, and it's also tightly written, an investing story. I care about the characters. It's got what I want. I'm connecting with them. I'm interested in their side stories. They're not side stories that are in service of them. I think one of the joys is a lot of the side content is not in service of the main plot in any way. It's just more of expanding Ichiban's character, and the party members have their own trials and tribulations. Like, I could be nitpicky about certain things, sure, but like it's real nitpicking. I don't know where it goes from here. Again, as I say this like every video, is like, I don't know what's next. And I don't, because like I said, we discovered Mario Kart, which I got MSQ blocked, so I couldn't finish it. I got to like the last race and it was like, nah, you'll have to wait. And I was like, okay, sure. I mean, I did so much. I watched movies. There's too much to tell you. There's too much to tell you. But the main crux of what I wanted to talk about today is like, now the story has really come into that overarching picture of what is going on. Is how much care and attention to detail. And when I pulled myself back to like be more analysis brain, I was like, this fits. It all fits. The motivations fit, the character development fits, the reasoning fits, all that stuff fits. And it's great. It's absolutely wonderful. So I'm still enjoying it. $10. Pfft, what an easy pickup, man. What an easy pickup. I'll see you tomorrow with whatever madness is going on then. Bye, guys.